Asta Jain, Senior Research Analyst of Hem Securities, now joins in. Asta, good morning. Thanks for joining in. Asta, what are we expecting? We've been swinging between losses on the grey market to gains this morning. Where are you anticipating the Hyundai stock to list at this morning?
Hi, good morning to all of you. So talking about this counter, first of all, what we have given as the recommendation was a subscribe from long-term point of view, not from the listing gain point of view. And there were few factors that were behind those recommendations. First of all, we didn't like the valuation because the valuation at which the company brought the IPO, we think that they have left nothing for the investor on the table. So that was not to our liking, and that's why we were not expecting any sort of a listing gain. Another point is that this is one of the biggest size IPO we have seen, and in the history we have always seen when such kind of biggest size IPO came, except Coal India, I think none of them have been able to garner any kind of listing gain premium. So that was another point which was really not allowing us to give it for the listing gain perspective. Now talking about this counter, what we feel for this listing, what I feel at this juncture of time, this listing may be at the issue price or something below than that, not much, because I've always been saying these to my clients on the various channels that the kind of subscription which this IPO has garnered, only strong hands have put in their money into it, because they know in case of any fall on the listing, then they will not come for selling. So these are the strong hand, and when some strong hand subscribe to the IPO, then the supply will be very less. This is what we believe. And I had this point in my mind at the time of IPO recommendation also. Maybe the supply crunch will be there, and that's why the issue will be able to maintain its IPO price or the issue price, as well as might be some discount can be seen, but not much premium. So now my idea here is the kind of momentum we are seeing in the market. In fact, the markets was also not good when this IPO came. The market conditions were not good, and even we have seen Maruti has corrected a lot. So keeping all these things in mind, we have given it subscribe for long-term rating. Now what we are expecting as a listing, we are expecting the listing to be somewhere at the issue price and minor lower than that. But I think in the later course of a business, I'm keeping my fingers crossed while I'm recommending this, but in the later course of the business, it should settle somewhere near the issue price or some more premium like that. So now what should one do who have not applied in it? They should wait for some correction. Maybe 1840, 1850 is a good level to make an entry into the counter, if at all it will come to those level. And those who have already got the allocation, they should keep it in their long-term portfolio, because after all, Hyundai is a brand. It is a #3 company at the global level, and all big funds have they put in money into it. One thing which I want to draw your attention towards is that BlackRock and Fidelity, these are two funds that they never, and they come very frequently, not they put their money into any big IPOs in the Indian market. So they come very less, and big funds have their interest into it, because after all, it is a brand, and they have put in into Hyundai India, which is a looking after the Indian growth story. So I think this IPO will not fall much. I mean, the issue price, it will settle somewhere near the issue price, or a minor dip can be there. But we are recommending to buy it at the lower end of around 1800 to 1850 odd levels.
Right, also, so the 1800 to 1850 levels is looking like a good entry point. The price discovery is underway, and it seems like the listing is going to be at a discount. 1931 is what we're expecting versus the listing, the subscription price band of 1965. While you're at it, Asta, so clearly don't expect listing gains. What you should do is look at the stock from a long-term structural strategic portfolio buy, and if you couldn't subscribe to it during the listing phase, today may be a good time to add to that stock, is what Asta believes. Asta, while we have you, we still have 2 minutes to go before we hit the listing. A quick word on Waaree Energies. A phenomenal oversubscription on the very first day, both on Waaree and Deepak Builders. Quick view on that.
So we are recommending Waaree Energies because the kind of business they are into, it is very hot right now, manufacturing solar PV module cells. And the company is one of the biggest company into this space. In fact, few months back, Premier Energies IPO came. But this company is double the size in case of profitability I'm talking about, in case of the installments and the capacity installed they are having. So I think this is a very good IPO to invest the funds in. We are recommending it to for the listing gain as well as long-term purpose. Talking about Deepak Builder, it is a very small size IPO, and such kind of IPOs may garner some sort of listing gain. So we are recommending both the IPOs for the listing gain as well as long-term perspective. But our major choice, or my first number choice, is with Waaree Energies at any point of a time. So we are strongly recommending this counter.
One quick follow-up there, Asta, on Waaree. Let's say, what is the 2-year outlook like? I mean, you are sounding very constructive there. People subscribing to the IPO. What should they watch out for? Listing gains or holding gains?
So, Neeraj, as you know, most of the retail investors, they only look after listing gains.
Which is why I'm asking this, yeah.
Yes. So for those retail investors, if they really can wait for the long term, because some new capacity is going to come within a year or a two. And I mean, these capacities are on a very good technology base that this company is coming into. So I think if they can wait, then definitely it will be a good long-term portfolio candidate also. So my idea is for the retail investor, book partial of it and keep the partial quantity in the long-term portfolio as well, because I think in the long term, it will yield strong returns.
So one final question, Asta. Circling back to Hyundai or Hyundai, however you want to pronounce it, but I'm calling it Hyundai. So circling back to Hyundai, would you believe that there are other auto companies which are better bets? I don't know if you track autos per se or only IPOs, but let's assume that you're looking at Hyundai versus its peers. Is Hyundai a better bet if it starts off lower today as it seems to be? Or are there other auto companies, four-wheelers, which are better bets?
So if anyone want to bet in only the passenger vehicle market,
exactly.
that is the car market,
exactly.
is only Maruti. And I tell you one thing, these global funds, they are always looking for such kind of strong growth story which India is giving them. Otherwise, they would have put their money into the Hyundai global company also. But looking after the growth story of India, I think they have come into it. So I think we should give this also a chance. And if someone keep both the counters, that is Maruti as well as Hyundai in their portfolio, so they are almost getting 55% of the market share in the passenger vehicle market, because these two together constituting of around 55% market share. My idea is, so if anyone lose the share, then it will be the gain for others. These are number one and number two. So I think both these counters are looking good to us. And I'm not comparing it with the rest of the peers, because in the car makers, I think these are the two competitors. So I think one can look after Maruti also. So these two are such counters that one can keep both of them in their portfolio. After all, Hyundai is a brand and it is a global level brand. So I think everyone wants to keep such kind of auto company in their portfolio.